I was at teachers' convention for a couple days, and I was kind of uncomfortable and squirmy in my chair, and my chest felt like a little tight, and I thought I needed to go to the chiropractor. On Friday night, I woke up in just kind of sharp pain, and I thought at first, am I having a heart attack? And after a little while, I thought, no, I would have died by now, so it must not have been a heart attack. By the next morning, an oncologist was in saying, you have cancer. In one day, I went from feeling pretty much healthy to cancer in one day. So that was the start of all of it last year in October. Dr. Stafford Smith, well, that man he brings tears to my eyes. I didn't really meet him until, so it was June 11th, and all kinds of chemos had failed. And the tumor was bigger than it originally ever was. It grew beyond all the chemo. It grew bigger and bigger. My tumor was so big that it was pressing on my heart. I was having trouble breathing. I couldn't really eat any solid food. So I was going in for this biopsy, and they were mostly concerned that my heart wouldn't be able to handle the surgery, the anesthesia. And they were right. When you think of an anesthesiologist, what I find interesting is I think anesthesiologists, they're there, they're gonna put a needle in your arm, or they're gonna put this mask on your face, you're gonna go off to Happy Land, and that's their job. And it's the doctor, the surgeon, who are the people who are like really, doing the big work, That day it wasn't the surgeon who was doing the big work, and maybe it isn't always the surgeon who's doing the big work. It was a little tiny biopsy. It was not a big deal. Dr. Stafford Smith knew it was a bigger deal. He knew it was a big deal. When I woke up from the surgery, they did have to use all these preventative measures. They did have to use multiple escape plans. He saved my life. There's just no way that you can, sugarcoat that or look around it or whatever, but he saved my life that day. My heart freaked out. I don't know the medical term, but I came out and I was on epinephrine that they had pushed to my heart, and he made those calls and he made that happen, and I would have died. I would have died. I know a team was specifically built and put in place for me that day because they knew there was this great risk. And they looked at me as not a case that was just like, oh, she's going in for a biopsy, check, we'll put so-and-so in the room, easy cheesy, this is nothing, no big deal. But instead they looked at my whole case and they said, no, we're gonna build a whole team, and we're gonna have a whole team ready, and all these people are gonna be on standby, and they're all gonna be ready and in the room. And I know that because of that, that's why I'm here. And I don't think that would have happened anywhere else. I really don't. My advice would be, remember there's a patient, and then there's a family, and you're not just the person who does put the person to sleep. It's not the surgeon who's doing the big work. That's one piece of the puzzle. But every time you meet with a patient, it matters. And it's those little things, like Dr. Stafford Smith taking my glasses and holding them for me, personally wheeling me into the OR, and not having a resident or just, passing me off to somebody else. It's like he himself took the time, and then finding out that he spent the whole day at the hospital to keep checking on me. It's like, I am his patient just as much as I was the surgeon's patient. I was his patient. Since then, through the grace of God and through the Duke doctors being amazing and trying something that actually I've never tried before on me, they shrunk my tumor, they've killed all my cancer, and I started stem cell transplant since then. And Dr. Stafford Smith, who saved my life on June 11th, he doesn't have the joy of coming along on the journey with me. You know what I mean? And the radiation oncologist gets the joy of saying, I'm gonna follow up with you, and he has the joy of knowing he helped kill this cancer. But Dr. Stafford Smith, who I never would have gotten this far with. I won't see him every day. I'm not going to see him in a year or 2 years. I'm going to invite him to my party when the cancer's gone. Hopefully it's the final thing to kick the cancer and be done. And so I'm going to be tired. It's going to be a long journey, but it's been a long journey already. So yeah, I'll make it. It's going to be okay.